So, COVID-19 didn't come with a playbook. And because of that, we wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you about some things that we've learned as a group of people supporting a number of practices around and throughout the Southeast. I think it's been really important for us to move in real time, to be fluid, and to be fluid on behalf of all of our healthcare delivery system partners. Having said that, what does that really even mean? And I think that's the question everybody was asking themselves day to day, week to week, month to month during COVID. What does it mean? What is it going to look like? And being strategic and actually effectively strategic in that time frame was really hard because sometimes being strategic and being real time are mutually exclusive. So let's talk a little bit about what the four key pillars to having been successful and being successful in the new normal, which I'm getting a little bit tired of saying, but there's not really a better way to say it. But what does the new normal mean? It means the current state that we're in, and then what it looks like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now. It's hard to even project 5 years out, but let's try. So 4 pillars that we need to talk about that were really important. Very first one, communication, communication, communication. So it's a little bit like in real estate when it's location, location, location. It really is the actual catalyst for everything else that you do. So the first thing you need to figure out is who's your target and who are you talking to? Are you talking to your community, your existing patient base, your prospective patient base, your employees, your owners? There's so many different targets, including referring physicians, workforce people. You actually need to outline who that target population is. Then look at what are your platforms that you have in place to talk to people. So the platforms often for people include social media, they include web, they include e-blast, they include actual internal flyers that get taped on the door, more often than I like, to be honest, the taping of the flyer on the door. But it is a means of communicating. Using them all is important. Creating new ones can even be more important. And one of the things that we found during COVID is that creating new means of communicating with people was not just important, it actually was required. So what did that mean? That meant that people were at home. They were at home, they weren't coming in, they might be scared to come in, they might not know whether they should come in, or they might have a healthcare problem where they don't actually want to go to the hospital emergency room and they're not positive how to use the practice. It ran the gamut. And how did we get to them? So there were a number of ways. Now, of course, the good old-fashioned phone needs to be manned. And it's the actual thing that most practices are the weakest at, the phone system. So, actually manning the phone system and answering the phone and having a really good, if you've got it, set of prompts, or even a really good hold, like something that tells people while they're sitting there, what are you doing? What's important for them to know? Why do they need to know it? All of these things really make a huge difference in the communication business. Everybody loves social media, so you don't have to do all of them, but pick one, be really good at it. And it's important to actually be real time, meet people where they're at. Nobody wants to be looking at a happy Easter bunny rabbit when they can't see their family. They're disappointed that Fauci said that it wasn't going to be over at Easter. They're still on quarantine. Meet them where they're at. That applies today. So meet them where they're at. Know where your market is and where your market is going to be. So that brings us to actually another one of the pillars. after you've done an excellent job of communicating and really fine-tuned that message so that your voice is what you want it to be and you replicate that voice over and over again, you then want to think about, okay, how am I going to actually provide services to all of my target populations? And how am I going to do that without coming across, and this has been a really big factor, as a used car salesman. So I need to do marketing. I need to talk to people. How do I do that and still look graceful and still look like I care about the community? Still look like I'm meeting people where they're at. I'm honoring my mission of caring for people. But at the same time, you still need revenue streams. You still need volume. And we know that. So the important thing to do is to be honest with yourself about both your mission and what do you need revenue wise. Figure out where you can actually limp along for a little while. What can you actually not do? What can you focus on? What can you replace? What are the services that you're going to really concentrate on, and how are you going to deliver them? It's been so exciting in marketing, really looking at the virtual platforms that everyone's created, from e-commerce expanding, what we can do on our website, how we're actually even emailing people has changed, what we're saying to people has changed, but how we're doing it.